Well, hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to InTHEknow360, show hosted by me, Annette, the warm-hearted warrior diva. This show gives you insights on the journeys of high-achieving business owners and music artists who share with the audience the importance of building a strong community of like-minded individuals on the road to greater success. And tonight, I am blessed and having Mr. Chris Vincent, y'all, from New
Hello,
Orleans.
hello, Miss Annette. How are you? Thank you for having me. I
Thank
appreciate
you
it
for
very, very much. Very much.
very honored, sir.
Oh,
I'm
please.
so
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you on. We kind of like briefly talked about the song, New Orleans. I know I'm probably mispronouncing it.
Oh,
Some
there's
people
10
say,
different ways to say it. There's 10 different ways to say it. As long as you're friendly, it really makes very little difference how you say it.
okay, okay, well that's good. I'll do my best. well,
It's
with that being said, could you tell the audience who Mr. Chris Vincent is?
absolutely, my friend. I am um, a songwriter, slide guitar player based in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I'm on your show uh, very, very shortly on August 1st. I have a record releasing called Good Crook, which was that's the title of the record and the title song, recorded with certainly not my words, but that they far surpassed me with an absolute legend of jazz drumming, Mr. Johnny Vodakovich, who took songs that are they're jazz influenced, but they're not jazz songs, and he put his stamp on them, and it's a record that I'm very proud of, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you and with the folks that are going to listen to the music for sure.
Yes, I'm excited about it. And since we're talking about it, how did you come up with the name Good Crook?
Good Crook. Good Crook is the title song of the record. It is um, the single comes out on the 28th of July. The record itself, along with a video, comes out on August 1st. So it's next Monday and next Friday. And Offbeat Magazine, which is like the music magazine in New Orleans, is going to premiere the video, which is very, very cool. I mean, it's a great audience. Lots of people worldwide who are into New Orleans music. The video was shot um, right outside my doorstep. Effectively, I use the French Quarter as a character in the story. Um, and the Good Crook, the song is it's about a relationship gone wrong in the song. uh, but it's not about my relationship gone wrong. It's a curious thing as a songwriter. Um, a reasonable presumption is that all the songs are about me, and it's all stuff that I've seen and done, and all this other stuff. And no, it's not always the case. I remember a woman who I have a tremendous amount of respect for, Ani DeFranco, who lives in New Orleans. I remember her saying once, very flippantly, but very like offhand, but very true. If we could only be as brave as we are in our songs, and
Mm,
that's the truth. They're not all completely autobiographical. Good Crook. I live about 500 feet, as we were speaking of before. I live about 500 feet from Bourbon Street.
uh-huh.
And when I walked out there to go get groceries or something to eat or whatever, I passed by I turned the corner and I immediately heard a woman uh, angrily yelling at
Mhm.
her husband, boyfriend, whatever the case may be, in a very, 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 very thick Southern accent that was augmented by lots of alcohol. It was it was like a Tuesday afternoon, and the Good Crook came from uh, the exchange, which lasted 5 seconds. I walk
Mhm.
by, she's yelling almost unintelligibly at the guy,
Mm.
and in a very, very calm, very Southern accent, he looked at her and he said, "You know, Yelling don't make that true. And being a songwriter, I turned around. I'm like, oh boy, thank you, sir. Took out my actually it's no, any song any songwriter will tell you, um it's all voice memos on the phone.
Uh,
People, very few people will write stuff down because it's just faster to talking into a phone. So
right.
they passed. I turned around, I grabbed, went into my pocket, grabbed my phone, and I said that phrase. I'm like, yelling don't make it true. And then I wrote this.
Yeah.
You take that phrase. They were obviously either breaking up or in a
Hmm.
relationship that was going south.
Right, right.
I've been there, and I basically took that as an impetus to write the song, write the story about a relationship that went on too long, and the and
Hmm.
in I'm a from the male standpoint, male vocalist.
Right.
In this song, the woman in the song, the vocal the speaker in the song, and in this case me, had
Uh-huh.
enough, has enough, and is finally done, and only realizes after a long while that the person that he was involved in was a very, very, very good crook, as some people can be. you know some people can be.
I love it. That's a wonderful story, and I like the way you you picked it up by that one phrase. Now,
it's
now
it's
it's
a
going to be a golden one.
I hope so. I hope so. There's a
Yes.
lot of there's good press that's running around this record so far. So,
Yes.
and they're looking at and the write-ups that I've seen so far have, they've spoken about that song being a pretty good choice for the lead song on the record for sure. So we'll see
Okay.
what happens. We'll see what happens. You never know.
I'll give you my blessings.
Ah,
Yes,
thank you.
I think that it's a. I mean, your work is phenomenal. When I first heard you, I'm like, wait a minute, he's
Oh,
different.
thank you. That's at my if I can't do it differently, there's a couple things with music. If I can't do it differently, I generally don't want it. And the
Yeah.
cool I'm proud of the record on a number of different for on a couple of different levels.
Hmm.
Not the least of which is, um I am a kind of a there's a lot of different influences in my guitar playing. One of them is a very, very heavy jazz
Hmm.
influence, and the people that I learned from, and the jazz players that have been with me my whole life on record, uh, John Coltrane, Joe Pass,
Hmm.
et cetera, et cetera. There are hundreds and hundreds of records of these players, and the reality is there's hundreds of records from the jazz guys and women, because they all knew exactly what they were doing, and they could put a record down in an afternoon, in and out and done, because it's all one take stuff. Uh, Good Crook is recorded in very much that regard. Johnny Vidakovich, who was a legendary jazz drummer, as I said. Um, he's a fan of the music. He's a fan of the lyrics. He's a poet, and he's quite a fan of the way that I write songs. And I said, Johnny, we're gonna do. Can I use pro? I always check myself with profanity here because I don't want to say anything bad.
Oh, you're
Okay.
fine. Go
Okay.
ahead.
He was like, Johnny said the way he talks, he's a New Orleanian. First and foremost, he's an older dude, been here forever. He'll tell
Uh,
you what high school everybody went from. He's
oh
played
wow.
with Professor Longhair, Dr. John, Alan Toussaint. You pick it, he was their drummer. And
Mm.
he's an amazing pedigree. And he was like, "Wow, what do you want to do, Chris?" And I said, "Johnny, we're gonna make a fucking jazz record." He's like, I said, "Trust me, brother. Trust me. Just meet me at the studio that we recorded at." Jake, Eckert,
Uh,
who's a brilliant engineer, brilliant studio, River Shack Studios in Rhythm Shack Studios
mhm,
in New Orleans. Not the River Shack is a bar. And sure enough, Good Crook with
mhm.
Good Crook was recorded in there's two sides to the record. One is a band side, and one is solo, me on a solo guitar.
Uh-huh.
The band stuff was recorded live in studio in 4 hours, in and out and done. It was finished. It was done like a jazz record. No overdubs, no auto tune,
Ah.
no guitar fixes, no that I you know. no, oh man, I don't like the way that little tiny part
Uh-huh.
felt. So let's none of that. It's a in that regard. I'm certainly not calling it a jazz record, but it certainly was recorded like a jazz record
Mm,
should be recorded, live to tape, guitar clams and all. And there are there's spots in the record where I can honestly say I don't hear a single drop from Vidakovich.
mhm.
He is an artist of the highest order, a musician of the highest caliber. There's a couple of guitar clams in there. You kind of have to listen to find them. But
Right.
I was like, son of a bitch, I could have done that one better. But, but and I remember Jake looking at me, the guy, the engineer,
Uh-huh.
the head engineer. He's like, Chris, we could fix that. That's very easy to do. He's like, we'll go in there and fix it. I'm like, I said, no, no, I don't want to fix it. I want this record to be the way that I came in here.
Mhm.
I'm not going to change the rules in the middle of the game. This is going to be a live record. Let's do a live record. Let's leave it in there. And in jazz, something that I learned a long time ago.
Mhm.
I don't even remember. I'm sure somebody very famous said it once a long time ago, but I remember hearing it from a guitar teacher, maybe because I've heard it a few times. And I was playing a gig or I don't know, I was young, a recital or something like that, and I really fucked up a pass of something. Like I was playing
Uh-huh.
autumn leaves or something to that effect. Or one of the times this was said to me, and I dropped the melody note, and you can hear it. Like it's like
Hey.
if someone sings "Happy Birthday" and they can't sing,
Right.
and they sing the whole thing perfectly,
Uh-huh.
but they miss the last note. Everybody in the room knows it.
Okay.
And playing jazz, I was like, oh Jesus, man, I fucked that up. And the guys looked at me and said, he said, Chris, he said, in jazz, you make a mistake once, it's a mistake. When you make a mistake twice, it's style. So effectively, that's what I mean. Usually, when I do, when a real, if you do this long enough, you
Uh-huh.
can smooth out the mistakes. So
Yeah.
if somebody wants to play Where's Waldo on this record, they could basically, if they listen to it and DM me and say, "Oh, I think that guitar clam is on this song," and I'll let them know if it is or not. But
Wow.
I'm thinking of one that I'm like, ah, shit. But it's no big deal. No big deal. I'm not curing cancer here and that I'm writing songs and hopefully make connecting to people in that regard, taking maybe my experience as a person, uh, and I've been around the block. That's for sure. Not necessarily proud of the places I've been around that block, but those days are over, and hopefully it connects with people for sure.
Yes. Well, that's interesting. I like that motto. What you just said about.
Oh, make a mistake once, it's a mistake. Guys, certain blues guitar players have made careers out of that. that now I don't condone that. I mean, I don't. That's playing the same thing over and over again. But it's in jazz. I love jazz music. I love
Mhm.
music that's made in the moment. I love creatives that are willing
Uh,
to put it on the line. Um, and that's part of it. You play something with your hands. In my case, if you play, you play music with your hands,
mhm.
it's an infallible thing. What's
Right.
a guitar? It's an extension of the player at some
Yeah.
point if they're any good at what they're doing.
Mhm.
And people make mistakes, and I am no stranger to mistakes, my friend. I assure you that on the guitar and in other scenarios in life, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, too funny. Yeah, I like that. And a lot of times when you think it's a mistake, it actually turns out, like we were saying earlier, into a perfection. And people see it as phenomenal work, right? And in your eyes, it's like, whoa, we're all critical of ourselves anyway. So,
Yeah, and sometimes the mistakes are they create something that was better than,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they create something better than the original. I'm thinking, the drummer that I recorded this with, Johnny Vidakovich, he's older than me. He's 70 plus years old. I mean, he is a fucking legend. There's no getting
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah.
And as a drummer, as a jazz drummer, as a guitar player,
Uh-huh.
different players can respect musical time in different ways. Play in
Mm-hmm.
front of the beat, play behind the beat,
Mm-hmm.
play around the beat, past the bar line. And there's a couple. There's one song that I'm thinking of in particular where I was doing something rhythmically on the guitar, and
Uh-huh.
Johnny was just, he wasn't here. He wasn't not hearing it. He was just hearing it in a little bit of a different way than I was hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do here?" Because like here, and this is my
Uh-huh.
opinion, and probably a lot of other people's opinion. As far as musical ability, I'm here down below the screen, and Vidakovich is above. He's in a spot where very few players ever reach, and I'm sitting there going, "There's no fucking way I'm going to tell this guy how to play the drums. No way." So I'm just going to go with what he's doing. And
Right.
sure enough, that song did make the record. A few songs ended up on the cutting room floor, um, but that particular song made the record, and when I play that song live now, I play it in his with the way that he kind of
Mm-hmm.
spun it. And at the
Mm-hmm.
time, I thought it was a mistake, but in reality, the way he heard it, was certainly viable and made for a good telling of the story, which is ultimately what this record and everything that I do is about. It's all about the songs. It's all about the story. That's it's not about, it's not about playing fancy guitar or very
Mm-hmm.
complicated guitar. Uh, it's it's about playing um, the story of my life and other people's lives and putting it to music. That's what these 12 songs are for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I actually did some research on guitarists, right, in the different types of styles. And there was one of the artists I interviewed. He's a guitarist, and he said, "I have an album or wanting to come up with a thall type of style." And I had to look it up because I never heard of it. I took band class. I was in choir
Never heard of
in
that
high
one.
school, and I was like, "That's very interesting." Yeah, it's a subgenre type of way to play the guitar, and there's just different ways to do it.
There's
It's not
there's
there's no one style, if that makes, or like no,
no.
it's right. I don't know.
The guitar is an instrument that is,
Right.
I spend a lot of time. I was talking with a guy that I actually recorded a couple last night upstairs. Did
Uh-huh.
a demo for him, and he's a good guitar player. He's a bluegrass guitar player. Far different approach style than the stuff that I do.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking, and the guitar is very interesting as an instrument in that it is stylistically, people literally physically approach the guitar in a different way.
Yeah.
Uh, lots of in almost a myriad of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a flute. Like if someone's at a party and you
Right.
say somebody has a flute, say, "Oh, my friend is a flute player," and they get up and they play a nice little flute song, and it's in tune, and they play, "Happy Birthday" on the flute. You're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, that's a good flute player." If that flute player is not a technically good flute player, everybody in the room is going to know it like that, and they're like, "This sucks." With
Yeah. Yeah.
guitar, there's a huge variability
Yeah.
of, on one level, I mentioned Joe Paz, a jazz guitar player, very technically and harmonically extremely advanced stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's one style of guitar player. And then you've got like, when I was a boy, when I was a kid, a teenager, I loved the Ramones.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ramones are not winning any musical technique awards for sure, but they
Yeah.
sure as hell knew how to get those songs across, and they
Yeah.
knew how to do it with loud, fast, simple guitar parts that I could I mean
Yeah.
I remember them. It's a there's way different way, a million different ways to approach it.
Yeah. Well, the guy's name is the artist's name is Sean Richardson. So shout out to him
Hey
for
Sean, I'm gonna check that one out.
educating me on Thal.
Oh, who knew?
Yeah. Right.
Who knew?
So let's go back, right, to your sound because it's like a melting pot of Southern soul, Delta blues, jazz, swing. What
There's a lot.
moment?
Here
Yeah.
comes the question. Here comes the question that's the tricky one to answer, because people,
Uh-oh.
yeah, it's yes, it's it is it's I play everything I play is it's a slide guitar.
Right.
When I first started playing guitar many years ago, I discovered pretty rapidly the music of Robert Johnson and Son House, which is
Hmm.
played in an open tuning on a guitar differently than like if you go into a guitar center,
Uh-huh.
they're all going to be tuned in a certain standard way, standard
Okay.
tuning. In an open tune guitar, the strings are different. It sounds
Hmm.
different, not drastically different, but it's a little bit different. Um, and it works well for solo blues. And I at the time, I was playing a lot of blues music, electric and acoustic blues music, and like we spoke of before, my the reality of my life is there's a lot of different influences throughout my life, and as a young guitar player,
Hmm.
right, that open tuning, that special slide
Ah.
guitar tuning, for lack of a better way to say it, for us, the way to the special tuning.
Uh-huh.
If I basically I had one guitar. So if I wanted to play a guitar in a standard tuning,
Uh-huh.
I'd have to retune the strings. And then
Gotcha.
if I wanted to come back, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna learn everything in this open G tuning.
Right.
And in doing so have created a style of certainly jazz guitar that hasn't really been done
Mm.
as far as I know, because most if not any, the vast majority of jazz guitar players play in standard tuning.
Mm.
An open tune slide guitar doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Doesn't work in jazz. And this past January, I represented New Orleans in Memphis, Tennessee at the International Blues Competition.
Hmm.
They're the Blues Society in New Orleans. Um, there was like a battle of the bands, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm not doing anything else on a Sunday, let me go. And I played the guitar and sang some of the songs would end up on Good Crook, and they're like,
Uh-huh.
well, Chris, you're going, represent the city, go do your thing in Memphis. So I did, and I went in January, and it was a cool experience, let's say that much. It was all on Beale Street, and I remember there were a number of like preliminary. You sit down and you play a half an hour, and the first set that I played, uh, I was playing, and I was like, well, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be just a
Hmm.
blues guitar player. I'm just going to play the songs that I write.
Right.
And when I got off the stage, there were two types of people in that crowd, and it was heavily populated. There was a lot of
Uh-huh.
people at the whole thing. There were two types of people in the crowd when I got off, and it was like a small-ish club, but a packed club, bar crowd.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's there, and some of the people very much liked what they heard,
Uh-huh.
and some of the very traditional blues purists looked at me and went, "There's a there's an awful lot of jazz in what you're playing there," and it's like, and I looked at him and I'm like, there is, and right there I knew, well, fuck this. There's no goddamn way in hell that I'm going anywhere further. because the Blues Police came out, and sometimes with what I'm doing, the style of guitar that I play that skirts the line between jazz and blues and country and all, sometimes even a little bit of rock and roll,
Uh-huh.
but it definitely juggles jazz and blues, big band, western swing, and I've been doing this a long time. It comes out that way, and it can be a little tricky to describe. So that's why I go with the visual of the slide. Like in there are a few non blues players who play slide guitar, so I basically
Uh-huh.
just go, I'm a blues based guitar player. Let's leave it at that. And if you like it, I'm a blues based guitar player that you like. And if I'm not, maybe I'm a jazz guitar player. No,
Oh.
I don't I that much uh I'm a I'm very much a firm believer of what I do,
Uh-huh.
uh, the songs that I write, they they are songs. They are not products. If I
Mm.
wanted products, I would move to Nashville and I'd start cranking these things out
Mm.
in rooms, and I would make a salary and be done. That is not what I do. So and if somebody likes the
Mm.
music, thank goodness. I'm happy that they like it. And if
Yeah.
they don't like the music, it doesn't it doesn't affect me. I know that I'm writing stuff that I would listen to, so I'll leave it at that there.
Mm.
I mean,
Okay.
I care very much about the audience. I care very much about putting on a good show
Uh-huh.
when I'm performing, when I'm doing my thing, when people, pay to come see me play the guitar, I give them what they came for. Uh, but if it's not somebody's cup of tea, I'm not changing it. I'm not going to start.
Right.
I I
Right.
get it. I get asked. I get asked. I mean that I get it. Chris, why don't you move to Nashville? There would be a lot more opportunity. I could
Mhm.
set you up with this guy and this guy and this guy. And I've had those conversations. I said, yes, let me have the guy's number, or here's my number. The guy can call me. I'm not fucking moving to Nashville because that's not the way I produce songs. The Nashville formula, and I'm not going to make a lot of friends by saying this, is pure production for commercial consumption.
Mm.
Almost exclusively, it's continual writing of the same exact goddamn song.
Mm.
And uh, I know a friend. I got to be careful how to say this. I have a friend who is quite a successful Nashville songwriter.
Mhm.
Has he's he's very successful. He's had songs taken and covered, and lots of big awards won with the songs that he's written. And I remember when it first happened for him, saying, "All right, what's the deal here? You wrote X a Grammy. What is it?
Right.
What's that do? What does that do for you?" And he looked at me and he said, "Chris, it's real fucking simple. It bought me a house and a car, and the pressure to write the next one that sounded just like the other." So sure enough, he writes great country songs for
Okay.
country artists, and he continues to do it. But this guy, who you wouldn't know if he was sitting in a room with you, it doesn't really look the part, or whatever the case may be, doesn't look like a Grammy award winning writer for sure. That guy will go and play gigs for $50 with songs that he's written. It's not the money for him. It has nothing to do with money. He'll write songs. He'll write songs for his job,
Mhm.
and then he'll write songs for himself. And the
Ah.
songs that he'll go and play at any number of, the smaller gigs,
Right.
small bar gigs, whatever. Not that he does it often, but when he has his own stuff and he wants to try it out, he knows that type of writing, it won't translate. They won't take it. It's not verse, pre-chorus, bridge, chorus, verse, chorus. It's not
Right.
that. There's no 20 choruses to the song. I listen to that stuff and I'm like, Jesus Christ. It can be a little bit disconcerting when I was a kid, like obviously I'm a musician. I'm a professional. I'm a guitar player, professional songwriter. That's a whole fucking nine yards. I loved the music, the
Mm-hmm.
genuine article when I was a kid, and a lot of the stuff that I hear now, um, I can hear it. It's written for 5 second sound bites, and a lot
Mm.
of it comes out of very commercial entities. A lot of it in Nashville, being living in the South, a lot of it comes out of Nashville, and I have lots of friends in Nashville.
Mm.
Nashville is one hell of. If I want to, if I want a humbling guitar experience for any guitar player will tell you this. Go to Nashville, where the kid in the fucking guitar center can wrap circles around 90% of the people that I've ever heard play the guitar. It's a
Wow.
great guitar. Yeah, it's the level of technical ability with some of the guitar players there. It's off the charts. Off the charts. One of my uh, uh, I remember seeing him and striking up a conversation and keeping up with him. Will Sexton,
Mm.
Charlie Sexton, and Will Sexton brothers. For my money, Charlie Sexton he's the guitar player and has been for Bob Dylan for 20 plus years. It's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely brilliant and a truly fantastic. Um, Hard to define. Is he a
Mm.
blues player, jazz player, rock and roll
Right.
player? The answer, yes, he is. I know a guy like that. I too know a guy that is a blues and a rock and a jazz. But Will, he was playing down here, and he's a hell of a guitar player. I love the guys in Nashville that I know. I don't like the overall product that comes out because all it does is sounds the same most of the time.
Yeah.
It sounds the same. But who am I to say that's not entertaining? For
Yeah.
me, it's not. For me, music is I'm no fan of punk rock music. I don't even know what
Mm-hmm.
punk rock music is now, but I know that people love it, and it's the
Mm-hmm.
soundtrack of their lives. So who am I to say what's good and what's bad? I can only make decisions artistically for myself. And
Right.
right here in New Orleans, the circus that this place is, the absolute unpredictability that goes
Mm-hmm.
on. It is a place where the only thing
Mm-hmm.
it's like that old saying about Las Vegas. The only thing, nothing ever changes in Las Vegas except the buildings and the people. And here in New Orleans, the only predictable thing is absolute unpredictability. It can be it can be an experience just walking out my front door. It doesn't and sometimes good, and sometimes like, okay, I've had enough of the crazy today.
Right. Right.
And that's when I run away, and uh, my dog is sleeping here with her tongue out of her mouth, happy as a
Oh.
clam and relaxed.
Well, it makes sense. It sounds like you have the energy, right? Or the energy of New Orleans is what you're wanting
Yes,
for inspiration through your
yes.
music, and you being able to navigate how you want to navigate. At least that's what I'm gathering from you.
Well, you can, yeah, in New Orleans, if an individual wants to indulge in anything they want to indulge in, that's a snap away. And
Mm.
that is not something that's in my life anymore. So it's a very, and it was at one point at one point in time. Like I said, I'm a recovering alcoholic and a number of other things. But I don't focus on that. I don't focus on that. There's no, that whole, if I'm out, let's put it this way, if I'm out past 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm at a gig or I'm driving home. I'm
Right.
not getting involved in the things that people get involved in at 2 o'clock in the morning. That old saying, that old that old saying that my that grandmothers used to say,
Uh-huh.
nothing good happens after 12 midnight.
That that part.
That shit. When you're a kid, you're like, oh, that's bullshit. No, that shit is fucking true. 100% true. Nothing good happens after midnight. if you're looking for trouble. Plenty of good things happen if you're not looking for trouble. But if you want
Right.
trouble, it can be had in any city in the world after 12 o'clock, that's for sure. And in New Orleans, that trouble can take a myriad of
Right.
of permutations. But um, that's not something that I do anymore, because not because I can't do it, but much more than can't do it, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And being like the first thing that comes up,
Hmm.
oftentimes the first thing that comes up, playing in music, if I'm playing in New Orleans or if I'm playing anywhere, and
Uh-huh.
somebody wants to be nice, they offer a drink. Can
Right.
I buy Chris? Can I buy you a drink? And to that, I'll politely decline, and I say the same thing all the time. I say, no, no, I'm a cheap date. I am a connoisseur of soda waters or seltzer waters, or club soda. Wherever I know the places with good soda. I'm an alcoholic. Thank you very much. And after that, or a recovering alcoholic, after that, the wheels start to turn. But some people are like, wait a minute, you're an alcoholic who lives and works playing music and writing out of New Orleans, Louisiana, and you're an alcoholic and you're sober and you're not afraid, or you're not tempted. That's the better question.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I understand that question. That question is extremely valid. When I moved back to New Orleans,
Uh-huh.
um, I moved back after being sober for about a year and a half,
Hmm.
almost 2 years, and the people who were close to me, admittedly and rightfully, said, Chris, you're nuts. You're fucking crazy. What are you doing? You stopped drinking, and you're going back to arguably one of the heaviest drinking towns in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And to that, I can say, uh, I credit an incredibly good alcohol rehab experience,
Mm.
in South Amboy, New Jersey, that made me realize, or helped me to realize for myself, that I
Mm.
just couldn't do it anymore. And the truth of New Orleans is, from an alcohol or a substance abuse, call it what it is. It's not the
Right.
same thing, but it kind of is the same thing. But from any sort of substance abuse scenario, from an alcohol usage scenario, I walk out my door, Annette, I know where I would be in 1 week if I started drinking again.
Mm.
And I wouldn't be sitting you here in this, nice air conditioned spot when it's 110 degrees outside. I'd be on the street. It wouldn't happen. I know I know. Alcohol would take me down so fast. It would be, it would be shocking.
Hmm.
It wouldn't shock me, but it would be shocking. And some of the sobriety that I'm able
Hmm.
to maintain, it's out of a constant um, reminder, outside my front door, that bad things go bad very quickly with
Mm.
substance. I see it every day, especially in the summertime. What happens in the summer in New Orleans is, there's a there's a balance of people who live here, people who come here, and
Right.
homeless people who are here. The people who live here stay the same. The people who come here can fluctuate wildly. So there's a ton of tourists in town.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
don't notice as much the people on the street.
Right.
When the tourists go away, you got the people who live here and the people who live on the street on the street.
Mm.
And when that ratio goes up, it's sad. It's sad, because
Yeah.
I know I know somewhat of what they're going through on a a collateral basis. I certainly don't know their
Mm.
stories,
Right.
um, but I know that, I clearly don't take any pleasure in seeing anybody in that situation, but I
Right.
do understand that as a motivator for me to not ever do it again. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Mm. Speaking about growing up, right?
It
What
is.
was the moment, first moment as an artist that just lit your fire, for you? What did it for you, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Hearing Bob Dylan,
Okay.
when I was like 14 or 15, and realizing that realizing the power and the connection of a songwriter, for
Okay.
sure, without question, without the music uh of you know, I it was like it was like a bolt out of the blue. I was like,
Hmm.
Jesus Christ, this is. I was a kid. I was, you know, there's lots of pop music, and
Right.
you know, there was you know, Bon Jovi and stuff like that.
Right.
Nothing against any of that. It makes people happy. It's the soundtrack of
Hmm.
their lives. But maybe the soundtrack of my life was a little bit more introspective,
Hmm.
and that's what I found in Bob Dylan. And today, you know, the records that I have, I don't know for sure, but I would be willing to bet the records that I've heard in my life over and over more than any others would
Hmm.
be it would be Bob Dylan, Joe Pass, and John
Uh-huh.
Coltrane. It would be those three, and Bob Dylan's the only lyricist of the bunch.
Hmm.
And then when I found that in the guitar, um, when I heard, like a lot of guitar players, when I heard Robert Johnson for the
Yeah.
first time, and I had the reaction that most guitar players, and I'm remarkably well preserved given the circumstances, as a friend of mine likes to say to me. But I'm not 22 years old, that's for sure. There was no internet when I learned how to play the guitar. It didn't exist. And there were no Robert Johnson books when I played the guitar.
Hmm.
They didn't exist when I was younger. So I remember hearing Robert Johnson and having I remember it was an article about the Rolling Stones and Keith Richards, who I have a tremendous amount of respect for as a guitar player. He's a brilliant, brilliant guitar player. One of the best, if not the best, rhythm guitar player of all time, I would say
Wow.
Richards
Yeah.
is. I remember reading an article when I was like 15 or 16 or whatever, and he said I listened to the music of Robert Johnson
Hmm.
in the seminal moments of the Rolling Stones, and he said I don't. He said that this is a lie.
Mm.
That's three guitars being played. That's not one guy on the guitar. I have no idea how to do that. And there's only one way to do it. And in the old days, you took a record player and you played it, put your finger on the fucking record so it slowed it down so you could kind of hear what was going on. And it
Uh-huh.
was a lot of trial and error. Um, and it was a very slow process because some of the Robert Johnson stuff is pretty simple stuff, and some of it is frighteningly complex to play physically on the guitar.
Mm.
That's the stuff that sounds like three guitars.
Right.
And so on one hand, I was influenced by an incredible, still incredible lyrical mind in Bob Dylan. The stuff that
Hmm.
he
Hmm.
continues to put
Yeah.
out is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was listening to Tempest. Any Bob
Mhm.
Dylan fans out there that are semi Bob Dylan, or they
Yeah.
know him but they haven't heard Tempest, in my opinion, it doesn't get much better than that. That's a great record. So I
Hmm.
had this lyrical monster on one side, and then I had a pretty high bar uh, with the slide guitar. I went right to the top and started to learn the Robert Johnson stuff, and it took a long, long time to do. So
Wow.
that's it. That's the two seminal moments were those two things for sure.
Okay. So your songs, right? As we were talking earlier, it taps into like deep themes, love, loss, redemption. How do you channel those emotions in your writing process?
I write a lot. There's always two or three songs that are being in various states of disrepair.
Uh,
Um, and the songwriting process for me, it I don't punch the chorus of Good Crook, the song is punch the time clock. I
right.
don't punch a time clock as a songwriter. I know people who do it. They wake up and they're like, I'm gonna write from 8 to 9. That doesn't work for me.
Uh-huh.
Um, how do I channel the emotions? If there's one word, and thank you for for mentioning the love and the loss and the
Mhm.
redemption. Those are all themes that run through the song. If there's one word that I can use to describe the songs,
Mhm.
it's honest. And as an alcoholic that's no longer drinking, there's one thing. The one thing that happens that is arguably one of the most pleasurable things of not being dependent on any substances anymore is honesty. So
Mm.
these songs are very very honest, and there's and some of them are redemptive in quality, and some
Mhm.
of them are there's redemption in the theme, and some of them there is no redemption in
Mhm.
insofar as things are going bad, and they're going to get worse. And
Mm.
there's the song that follows "Good Crook," "Midnight After All," uh,
Mhm.
is a single that's doing quite well. It's being
Mhm.
pushed on the radio, etc. You know, I thank goodness that the people that are working this record, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Mhm.
That song is about a friend of a friend. Another one, I got to be real careful who I talk. It's about a friend of a friend who tried to fix. And I'm sure this isn't the first time I've known this story. I'm sure you've
Mhm.
seen this before. This was about a friend of a friend who tried to fix a bad relationship by getting married and having a kid. And when I heard the story, third party, and I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know the person. When I heard the story, I looked at my friend and I went, "Fuck me, man, that is a needle going backwards." Because that never works. And that
Yeah.
song, "Midnight After All," it's it's there's three different generalized themes. Things are bad and they're not getting better. That's a small amount of the songs that I
Yeah.
write.
Yeah.
There's a redemptive one, and then there's the other one is the course of my life has definitely taught me things will go my way or they won't. So I might as well
Mm.
fucking try.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know you know so and that's the truth. Like I people are the honesty that I approach my life with. Like I
Mm.
said, like if somebody likes this music, that makes me
Yeah.
very happy. If someone doesn't like the music, it doesn't make me sad. It would be difficult for somebody to say that guy on that record is a shitty drummer. No, he's not. He's brilliant.
Right.
He's a brilliant drummer. Maybe this isn't your cup of tea of music. That's fine.
Right.
But it's hard to say that. Like it would be difficult to say that about the record. And honestly, the being able to call a rose is
Yeah.
only something that I was able to do in sobriety for sure.
Mm.
So
That's interesting. Well, the one reel I saw with you with the Cadillacs, I really love that song. Um, and it okay for me, right? What I took from your style is you have a way a di- of storytelling, and your storytelling has pauses in it. If I will, if I may,
yeah,
like it has pauses in it to for me to
Annette,
grasp.
I don't have a 5 octave voice singing
No,
range. My singing voice is about that range is about that big. I have to make do with what I've got.
no,
So that's one of the things that I've done. Yeah,
no,
a pause works. If
I,
I can't hit Beyonce level notes,
no,
I'm gonna stop and pause.
no, I don't know. It was intentional, but it works. So my take is that really helps people because our attention span is short and it gets
Yeah.
shorter as the years go with technology and such. And
Yes.
so I have the appreciation of your pausing, right? To like, hey, I said this, and then the receiver says, what is he talking about? Like, gives you a moment to like digest what you just said. I'm like, oh, did he say that? Okay. And then like kind of figure out what does he mean by that? You know what I mean? That's like how I interpret your music.
Well, then I'm doing my job. Then I'm
Yeah.
doing my job. My I if you're asking those questions as a songwriter and as a performer, if I get off the stage and somebody pats me on the back and says, and it's nice when this happens, but if
Uh-huh.
somebody pats me on the back and says, "Man, you're a good guitar player," or "I like the way you play guitar," or "I like the way
Yeah.
people," I'm surprised you didn't like. It's not uncommon when people say, Chris, can you sing one of those songs where you don't talk too much, like fake the singing voice? But the reality is, if I get off the stage and somebody says, you're really you're I like you, you're good, then I
Yeah.
failed. I
Uh,
failed. I failed miserably.
mm,
If the person says, I really, I listened to the song Half Block Cadillac,
uh-huh.
and it's not uncommon. They're it's not uncommon for men and women in the audience and the gigs that I'll play. I've heard on many occasions. Again, I'm in New Orleans, and there's often an alternative. There's an ulterior motive to sometimes it happens after gigs, and let's just leave it at that. I have heard from more than a few women. I'm trying to be tactful here. Something to the effect of, you sing or you write the songs the way I wish my husband or boyfriend felt about me.
Mm,
And when I hear that, and it's not an obvious, what are you doing
right.
for the next 2 hours, which whatever. If it's genuine, then I
Uh-huh.
did my job. Then I did my job. And there's, I mean, this happens far less frequently, but it does happen
Yeah.
where something about these songs can resonate with men.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of think it is my honesty. I kind of think it is the fact that, I go up there, if I'm doing a solo gig, the only thing more solo than a singer-songwriter gig
Uh,
is a comedy gig. I don't know how those men and women do that. You are total, at least I can hide behind the guitar.
right.
You tell a joke and it falls flat, you're fucked. But some of the highest compliments have been from men who either are choking back tears or are crying,
Mm-hmm.
talking about one of the songs that I wrote about.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable. It's a weird thing. There is a connective.
Mm,
It's very cool to make that connection. I don't know these people and they don't know me, but there's a lot of people who think they know me
mm,
after listening to these songs.
mm-hmm.
And in some regard they do. In some regard they may know how I view certain scenarios. Fair enough. That's the themes of the song. But the 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 connection is the thing that drives me. That's what I want to do. I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to be, I don't mean this to sound like you know, a jerk or anything like that. I don't need to be patted on the back and told that I can play the guitar. I've been doing it my whole life. I know I can play the
Right.
guitar.
Right.
But 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 if I mean, it's as simple as that. It's like, that's something that I do. It's, you don't tell, nobody says, wow, you're a really good banker. No shit, you've been doing it for 30 years. You're probably good at your job, whatever that job may be.
Right.
It's a weird thing in entertainment. Like, you're a good guitar player. Well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. What am I, like? Do you go and watch people sing that don't know how to tune the instruments? Who knows, man? But
That's hilarious.
it's true. Like, it's very true. It's,
Yeah.
I'm not there. The thing that drives me as an artist
Right.
is the universal
Mm-hmm.
connection that has. Look, what am I really doing here? All I'm doing is the same goddamn thing, or all I'm trying to do. Now, I'm
Uh-huh.
not saying that I'm succeeding, but all I'm trying to do is the same thing that
Uh-huh.
uh, that Dylan did for me when I was a kid. I mean, I get messages. Um, like I said, I write a lot. This is the second record in 2 years. There was a record
Yeah.
in 2024 and called Things Have Changed that had a lot to do with the break from alcohol. Not
Yeah.
every word, but
Right.
there were the title song "Things Have Changed" is very literal, is quite literal
Mm,
about alcohol addiction.
mm.
And it makes it makes me, honestly, it's difficult to say, but it makes me proud. I
Mm.
know that that song, evidenced by message after message after message after message, when somebody kind of discovers me as an artist, which admittedly you're only looking at it for 2 years, pretty
Yeah.
much. I
Yeah.
mean, the old Chris was long gone. The first in New Orleans, long gone. Um, Alcohol and substance abuse plays a part in it, and there've been a lot of messages in that said, your songs have helped me break.
Mhm.
Your songs you have given me strength. Also, it's a weird place to be. It's a
Mhm.
weird place to be. And in the songs that are about how powerful certain things can be and how powerful people can be in breaking that,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, that connection means a lot to me. I guess that's one of the reasons why I keep doing this. You know.
Yeah. Well, I definitely felt the connection, right, to your music,
Thank you.
and look, I think Cadillac should sponsor you because you make people want to buy a Cadillac from that song. I don't know. It's just something on how you
That's a
you
badass car that I was sitting on that video, wasn't it? Son of a bitch. My buddy JC is like, Chris, this is rough and tumble. He's like, Chris, I like that. He really is. He's like this dude that I would not, if there was somebody that I want in my corner when the lights go out, if there's bad men at the door, it's this guy.
hey,
He's like,
hey,
Chris, I heard this song you wrote called Half Block Cadillac, and I got a Cadillac in my shop. I think you should come do a video there. And I was like, send me a picture. And he did. And I'm like, okay, we'll go do that this Saturday. But that's there's a perfect example. That song, let's just say this much: that song has been played and listened to more than any other song that I've written up to this point. Um, I got a sneaking suspicion based on some of the stuff that I read today that the song "Midnight After All," it's gonna get interesting pretty fast. They're looking at putting it in horror movies and shit like that. It's like
yeah,
a
yeah,
very foreboding song. I got
right.
a sense that that's gonna quickly surpass Half Block Cadillac for a little while. There's a
Uh,
professional fighter in Brazil that uses it as his coming out song.
oh
So
wow.
it's fucking weird. But Half Block Cadillac, there's the perfect example
Yeah.
of the song. The song is basically, I'm driving. There's a woman in the seat, and the chorus is I don't give a damn about the wrongs you've done.
All
The
right.
reality is I'm no fucking choir boy. Anybody who shacks up with me understands what they're getting into,
Mm-hmm.
understands who I am,
Right.
and I try to do the same for the people that I get close with, of which there's only one. Um, and when the women came and said, I wish my husband sang about the people you're involved in, like you, they're
Right.
they're talking about that song. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I
Got you.
I don't gotta, it doesn't, and it's basically
Yeah.
somebody, and there's connections to it. And then some people, I've heard this one a number of times. I've played the song, and talking with people after the gig or wherever, one person starts talking, they're affected by the song, and then the person next to them are like, it kind of reminded me of Thelma and Louise. It's like, all right,
No, it can go so many ways.
without the terminal ending
Hey.
in Thelma and Louise. That song is it's I want people, we're we all have, no matter where you're from, the human experience is one of life and loss and
Yeah.
redemption and reinvention. You get to be a certain age, and all of that shit applies. And
Right.
these songs, and the writing and the drive that I have to write these, uh is
Right.
a drive to connect. I guess that's all it is.
Yeah. Hey, 2 3 Moolah, what's going on? We're having a good time here talking about the Half Block Cadillac. If you haven't heard his song on that, oh my gosh. Um, well, next on tap is okay, there's a cinematic quality, and you mentioned that your song is, I guess there's talk about it being in film. And how have you envisioned your music paired with film? Like,
It that's a New Orleans story that's been done.
yeah, yeah,
There's a song called there's a movie called The Capitalist, that has made its way around into to independent film festivals, and it's won awards and all sorts of stuff.
right.
I was on stage playing with it was a songwriters round or songwriters gig or some shit like that. I don't even remember. And there was a who is now a very good friend of mine. His
Hmm.
name is Guion Smith. He was a poet, and I played Half Block Cadillac,
Right.
and he was sitting next to me. There was like three people on the stage, and he's watching me. And after the gig, he was like, "Can I call you tomorrow?" And I said, "Sure. You can call me. Here's my number. Give me a call." He said, "I want you to score a movie for me."
Mm.
And I'm like, people say weird shit all the time. I was like, okay, sure. And I went home, and my girlfriend, the girl I was talking about, she's like, how'd the gig go? And I said, I don't know. This guy asked, he's like, they want me to do a movie. She said, can you do that? And I said, I don't know. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can't. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, I scored the guy's movie.
Uh huh.
And he on that stage, he heard Half Block Cadillac, and the movie's called The Capitalist. And it's basically, it's about, it's a bad men being bad and stealing from other bad men. Basically, it's like a heist caper gangster movie.
Uh huh.
And he said, I want Half Block Cadillac as the opening sequence. And I
Hmm.
said, I said, just send me something. And sure enough, a song that he didn't hear that's on the first record, Things Have Changed, called Cash Only.
Mm.
And that was an experience. I was at the movie premiere. Nobody knows who I am. I mean, I'm a faceless guy in the back of the room at the movie premiere, and I never saw the final cut of the film until that day. And
Hmm.
I'm in the back of the theater, and he had a big release party. There's hundreds of people there, and sure enough, the movie fucking starts with this song "Cash Only," and the scene is the gangsters like getting their guns together and getting putting the bullets in the guns and putting on the masks, and it opens, and it's a driving song,
Right.
and that was something else. And I played slide guitar parts for the rest, for the rest of the film. But do I see the stuff in film? I do not, in
Mm.
any way, shape, or form, write the songs with that purpose in mind. But
Okay.
after the fact, I do see why there is it's a common,
Hmm.
it's a frequent comment that the songs are theatrical, in that
Yeah.
you said they tell stories.
Yes.
And I am, as a writer, um without the story, I've got nothing.
Mm.
I've got nothing. So I do tell, in these songs, they are cryptic to a degree. I understand that.
Yes.
Um, as and maybe that's the Bob Dylan influence. Like, there's
Mm.
some songs, you know, there's some of my favorite Bob Dylan songs. I think one of his finest songs is a song called "Changing of the Guard." And I remember talking with somebody, another Bob Dylan fan, and they looked at me, and they were like, well, why is that your favorite song? I mean, all this stuff is like, it's one of these 10-minute long, 30 verse songs. That's,
Uh,
if you're not a Bob Dylan fan, you're probably going to shut it off. but I remember having the conversation, and she said, "Why is it that one?" And I said, "Because it's about everything and nothing at once. That's why. It's fucking
Mm.
brilliant."
Mhm. Mhm.
And the cryptic nature of a good song, I think this is my opinion, obviously. Um, a good songwriter doesn't spell everything out to you, because if that's done, the listener can't put their own life into the song. Half
Mhm.
Block Cadillac, you know, there when I'm singing that song on stage, I know that there are people in the audience. I could see it on their face that
Mhm.
they're putting themselves and their significant other. Maybe it's me. Hopefully, it's not me. But they're putting themselves in that concept, and
Right.
they're like, am I as in love with this person as this guy
Mm.
seems to be? And they think
Mm.
about their own lives, their own relationships, and hopefully things go well for them. And maybe they won't, but I mean, hopefully they go well.
We're gonna blame Chris Vincent. No, I'm kidding.
You mean,
I'm teasing.
hey, some of these songs again, like some of them can be, I know they can be hard to listen to, and
Mhm.
in my experience in my life, I understand full well, at the end of the day, you're on
Yeah.
your own. I'm on you're on I you're hopefully people have loved
Yeah.
ones in their lives, wives, husbands, children's
Right.
partner, but at the end of the day, you're on your own, and some of these
Yeah.
songs can be tricky to take, because
Yeah.
that is a harsh reality. And I don't shy away from that. I don't shy away from that at all.
Well, I'm glad that you're not commercialized, right? I mean, I hate to say it. I don't know. There's another way to say it, but um, you give the audience, right, the listeners, a story that they can, um, or I guess, end with, if that makes sense. Like
That's well said. That's well said.
a provoking way of gathering their data and what their life experiences and making their resolve, if there's a resolve. I don't know.
If I'm doing what I set out to do, that connection exists. Yes. If I'm doing,
Right.
if and do all songs need to do that? No, no.
Right.
Some of the ones that they're not all these deep, heavy duty themes. Like
Right.
like there's a single one of the songs that didn't make Good Crook, because
Mm-hmm.
there was a song that was kind of similar. Like I said, I write a lot of these, so some of them end up being, covering similar ground. There's a song online that I like, or that was released a few months ago, called Rascal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was it's a bittersweet story. I it was a, it, wa- the story was a favorite of a bartender in New Orleans. Um, and this motherfucker, this cat was a he would sing it to the top of his lungs when I would do it. Like, and he was a rascal, and he was an addict, and he did not make it. He passed away about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And after he passed away, there was a lot of love for this guy, and it came out that this guy was he was spreading his love in a number of different places.
Oh.
And this guy, he slept with everybody. Yeah, and he was like a low key he was a low key Casanova.
Oh.
And it was his, but the song is basically about about being a rascal, owning up to your own, um, maybe, and I guess it's about me, but it was a lot about a lot of the people I know.
Mm-hmm.
And the song is, it's a hassle being a rascal, but I would not have it any other way. And some
Mm-hmm.
of them are as simple as that. They don't go any deeper than that. And some of them do. Some of them do.
Yeah. I did see that as well. Um, so your music, right, has been featured like in on MTV, of course, award
Years
winning
ago.
films.
Yeah.
Well, how did
I don't even.
those how
How
did
did that
those
happen?
opportunities, yeah, you're reading my mind.
If I'm no I'm no stranger to putting my hand out and shaking hands. I think the way that I approach music and the business of music is I'm pretty confident in that that what I have artistically has merit, and I think that confidence is attractive to people, and that's what gets them to listen to the music. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere. I remember like it was yesterday that there was a this is years ago
Mm,
in New Orleans. I get an email from Bunham Murray Productions,
mm,
and it was I don't remember the name of the person. Uh, Dave Stone was his name. I remember the name now. And Chris, blah 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 blah. We'd like to use your music on MTV's The Real World. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me! From out of nowhere.
wow.
Sometimes weird shit happens from out of nowhere. It does. It can, especially now with the internet. Like
Yeah,
there's no there's no there's weird shit on the internet. I mean, that's you just got to be careful of that.
right.
But I'm amazed when I don't my the nuts and bolts. It's I don't think it's good for somebody to have a finger on somebody like me to have a finger on the pulse of exactly what's being listened to when it's being. I don't
True.
really pay too much attention to that.
Hmm.
That's somebody else's job. That being said, I did have a conversation with the guy who is that job to keep
Oh,
track of all that stuff today, and the the dispersion of we had this conversation. The dispersion is all over the map. These songs are getting listened to. Uh, we're on this according to Spotify. They're getting listened to in all different countries. Um, Poland, Czech,
right.
all these. I'm like, how the fuck are these people even find playlists? Is
Right.
the song gets on playlists and that's where they get listened to. But it's an amazing spread that can happen with the
Hmm.
internet. And the conversation that we were having today was again at this point the since things have changed, which is only 2024.
Hmm.
It's a very new career which is taken a lot of turns very quickly. It's a weird life that I live at this point in time for sure.
Hmm.
But that being said, my listener base previous to I don't know 2 or 3 months ago was almost exclusively like 99% male because
Wow.
online you've seen the social media stuff. A guy with a guitar
Hmm.
attracts a male audience. And I'm happy to say that I now have, according to Travis, I now have a 15% female audience. He's like, this
That's
is
interesting.
we're doing okay. 15 a listening audience. Whereas
Oh, okay.
if like Spotify, Apple Music, and all that other business on the but on the videos
Hmm.
generally, if there's a guitar in my hand, it's a male audience. It's almost exclusively a male audience. If there's no guitar in my hand, then it can move into different things. But it's a weird spot, man. It's
That's
fucking
interesting.
it's crazy shit. It's a weird. It's I don't know. Look, would I appreciate every single individual person who is pressing
Right.
play on these songs, male,
Hmm.
female. What I want is for people to enjoy them.
Yeah.
I was, but that being said, I like the fact that there's that these are not rock. What are they? these are not, what was the phrase when I was like jock rock songs. These are not like,
Okay.
you know, if I remember, the band Rush, which was a very huge
Uh-huh.
rock band in the 80s and 90s, but their demographic were kind of adult band kids from high school, which
Mm-hmm.
is to say, I saw this I saw this video where somebody asked one of the guys in the band, it was like, how did you, Matt, you guys, you never fell into heavy drug use, you never fell into groupies. And the guy
Uh-huh.
looked at the drummer, I think it was the drummer, he looked at the interviewer and he went, groupies? We're in Rush. The audience is 100% male. There are no Rush groupies. They don't exist. And I was like, for a little while, I think I was in the Rush camp there. I might be moving into maybe 1.5 out of every 10 people that listen to the songs will be a woman. But
Wow.
I remember him look. He was like, it was a moment of clarity with this guy. He looked at the interview and he was basically like, here, you got no idea, brother. There are no women at these shows. It's all men.
Oh my
What he
gosh.
said.
That's right. That's quite interesting. You know what though? Okay, so I don't know. I was doing a trend analysis on, on my podcast, right? A majority of my guests are men. I don't, I don't know why that is.
It's something
It's
that you can spend a lot of time thinking about that shit and never get an answer that's true. It might look true, but maybe it's not the truth. It could.
yeah.
Who knows? But the short answer is you do an excellent job. I'm sure people love what you do, and at this point, they're all men. So be it. Hello, gentlemen.
Most of them, yeah,
Good
for
Crook,
sure.
August 1st.
Right. Good. August first. I went onto your. Well, let's go ahead and do this. I meant to tell you this early on, but I had everything queued up here. Your YouTube channel. Let's see, and trying to figure out. I mean, I have this queued up already when we were talking about midnight. After all, is there the good crook any snippet in here? Because I tried it. I know it's on Instagram, but I wasn't sure if it was uploaded here.
I don't think the Good Crook got to um
Okay.
the only it's definitely on Instagram. It's definitely on
Okay.
or the I see the midnight after all with the the Jesus shadow.
Oh,
That's
yes. That's
that's this song that's being looked at from a, what do you
film.
call it, from the film, and
Film.
that's the
Yeah.
one that the fighter goes out to. And holy shit, like if you watch that in that video when we shot it,
Mhm.
it was literally shot like at 2 in the morning, on
I
a
s- I saw. I saw. Oh my god.
th- there's a guy that I didn't see when I was there doing the film. There was a
Mm.
guy, a homeless guy, under a bunch of boxes that fucking scared the shit out of us when we were looking for a foreboding situation,
Uh huh.
and we got one. We got one, that's for sure.
Wow.
But um, yeah, I mean, I would, if I was, if you were brand new, if somebody was brand new to the
Uh
music,
huh.
I would go. I'd go to Half Block Cadillac, and there is that video on all the platforms. That is
Right.
me sitting on the Cadillac. That kind of encompasses, the performance style, the guitar, a
Mm-hmm.
certain level of the guitar style, and certainly the lyrics for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in addition to uh, I think it was a 1952, or somebody's going to correct me, I'm sure, but it was a
Right.
1952 or 54 Cadillac Eldorado that, and it was, sitting on that thing felt like sitting on like a tank.
Right,
it was
right,
20
right.
feet. It was 20 feet long. It was crazy.
You know what I'm gonna do, so that way people can get the gist of what we're talking about. I'm gonna just play it. I'm gonna go onto your Instagram because I want to make sure that people are aware.
Oh, thank you, Annette. Thank you.
Let's do that. And you have so many. I just like whoever's doing your reels. Um, Kudos to them.
I will pass. I
Yeah.
will pass that along. I will pass that along for sure.
Okay, let's see here.
And
Uh,
thank you. Thank you.
you're very welcome. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Okay, so let's play. Here it is. Half Block Cadillac. Here we go.
Half block long, spent too much, and it shows. Not a scrap of fiberglass from nose to tail gonna pick you up. Keep on going. Motor Cadillac, half block long, spent too much.
Okay, and we're gonna go to the one good crook. That way, people are aware
Oh yeah, that's that.
what's
There's the that that's
right here.
and if they that in the beginning you'll hear Johnny Vodakovich banging away on the drums. It's he's a killer player.
Let's.
Now I heard you the first time. Yelling don't make it true. You can hold, you can pull, blow the whole damn house down. Don't do nothing to me, even less to you. Punch the time clock. This shit's over and done. Winners and there's losers, three guesses, which one?
Let's run it back one more time. Here we go.
Now I heard you the first time. Yelling don't make it true. You can hold, you can pull, blow the whole damn house down. Don't do nothing to me, even less to you. Punch the time clock. This shit's over and done. Winners and there's losers, three guesses, which one?
Oh, he
So
is a killer. He's a
yeah.
killer. He's a killer.
Wow. I love it. I love it. And
Thank you.
for one for the road, we're gonna do what is it? It's the one with the
I'm looking at your screen. Another interesting one was about 5 or 6 weeks ago. A little tiny house party. I woke up and there's a million views on a love song, Snakes,
Oh
that I wrote.
yes. And
I could see it up on the
yeah,
Instagram thing, and the
yeah, well,
girls screaming. That was fun, man. Holy shit, that was that's there's a perfect example of the unpredictability of New Orleans. It's a fucking circus.
right.
Play 10
Yeah.
seconds of that. You'll hear the girls scream. I don't know those
Oh
girls.
yes, I love the I've been putting it on my story feed. So all right, let's play it. Here we go. Oh,
Oh, that's a different one.
oh this is a different one.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
Let's
one I know that the one that hit the million one is that's it up on the top
this one
left.
right here.
Yeah, listen to the girls.
Okay, here we go.
If I'm counting, I'm counting.
Okay. Yes,
And
indeed.
it's been
And what has
a
it been?
minute or two.
Okay.
I'd like to take this time to pause Sweet Jesus.
Sweet.
Get a look at you. Hate to see you go.
But I hate to watch it.
Love to watch you leave.
Come on. Come on.
Here's the hope we both got an ace in the hole. Up tight under our sleeve. Hate to see you go. Love to watch you pass. What you do to me, baby, you don't know. Send me packing a Sunday mass. Up to get you slipping through all these snakes in the grass.
I say.
Hate to see you go. Love to watch you pass. If I'm counting,
You do it one more time.
I'm counting.
Okay.
There's a pause in this one. That's literally the word pause.
A minute or two.
Okay.
I'd like to take this time to pause. Sweet Jesus.
Sweet.
Get a look at you. Hate to see you go.
But I hate to watch it.
Love to watch you leave.
Come on. Come on.
Here's the hope we both got an ace in the hole. Up tight under our sleeve. Hate to see you go. Love to watch you pass. What you do to me, baby, you don't know. Send me packing a Sunday mass. Up to get you slipping through all
Jesus Christ.
snakes in the grass.
I say.
Hate to see you go. Love to watch you pass. If I'm counting, I'm counting.
Okay. Yes,
And
indeed.
it's been
And what has
a
it been?
minute or two.
Okay.
I'd like to take this time to pause.
I mean, there was like 10, 20 people at that little
Sweet.
Get
party.
a look at you. Hate to see you go.
But I hate to watch it.
Love to watch you leave.
Come on. Come on.
Here's the hope we both got an ace in the hole. Up tight under our sleeve. Hate to see you go. Love to watch you pass. What you do to me, baby, you don't know. Send me packing a Sunday mass. Up to get you slipping through all these snakes in the grass.
I say.
Hate to see you go. Love to watch you pass. If I'm counting,
And this is it.
But
That was at Jack's place, JC's place. The guy who called me about the car. I didn't never even put that together. It's just a weird coincidence. He's a mechanic and he owned that shop where the car was, and that was at his place. I don't know. And no shit. I mean, I woke up and in the morning, and you know, part of being a musician performer now is the social media stuff. So at some point in the morning, I turned on, you know, I turned on Instagram and I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on here? And I looked into it. I'm like, son of a bitch. And that's a strange place to be, man. That's a strange place to be, to go from the most views up until that point was on that half black block Cadillac video, and that
Yeah.
was like 50 or 60,000 views, which it's not a small amount of people.
That's a
But
lot.
what happened was, at this point, you know, people respond to the videos. They're not
Hmm.
all million hits, but it's not uncommon for these ones that they'll go 200,000, 300,000, 600,000. And wrapping my head around that from a guy who was fucking completely drunk and fucked 5 years ago is it's it's crazy. And this conversation that I had today with uh with the guys whose job it is to make sure that the stuff works right.
Uh-huh.
Uh, he remarked, he said, um, what he's going to look into, and trying to get the viewership numbers
Hmm.
higher on YouTube, which they're generally very low, whereas on Instagram they have that, like, how many people have viewed in the last month, and it's 2 million people. It's a lot of fucking
Yeah.
people. It's the weirdest thing to and it's surreal. It's not, what does it do? It doesn't change my everyday life, that's for sure. But it is, it's certainly, as a writer and as an artist, certainly, um it's fulfilling that people are
Hmm.
warming up to it, and they're watching, or they're listening, and we see where we move from here, for sure. And the answer is, who knows what happens? I don't know what happens.
Yes. Now, if you were in Nashville, I would like that kind of song to be reiterated in different ways.
I'd fucking go. I'd go there and I'd sing that goddamn song the same exact way that I sing it. And I'd bring those two girls along with me. And if they don't like it, somebody else will.
Right? No,
Because,
I love it.
I mean, let's just, like, I don't know that kind of living this life, that shit happens. I never saw those girls before or since. I don't. I'm sure they're very nice. They're Jack's friends. Any friend of his, a friend of mine. I don't know them, but
Oh my
that's
gosh.
the you open yourself up to those types of experiences, and
Hmm.
generally be nice to people.
Hmm.
And I've found that shit works, and it doesn't work for any sort of ulterior motive. It's just like I said, I'm not proud of the way that I lived my life in the past for a very, very, very long time. I don't have anything to hide from, and I don't have anything to hide now. And in so doing, so if I'm singing, um, if I'm singing this song, if I'm singing this love song, "Snakes," and I pointed, the person who the song is really about was in that room. She was there, but I was like, well, this is, I am a, it is very strange as a performer. It's
Right.
very strange to play songs that are written about someone, love songs that are written about someone
Uh-huh.
who's in the room. Like, you can see, this is a small house. It's an apartment in New Orleans. It's not a big place. There's 10, 20 people there tops. So I'm not
Uh-huh.
going to sit there and sing the song to the person I wrote it for. So I
Right.
picked, these girls obviously had a lot of energy. So I sang to them, and from out of nowhere, 24 hours later, there's a million people, and it's more than that. It went, across the platforms and everything. There's more than a number that I have a hard time conceiving has seen that video and seen these two girls screaming, and none of us knew what was going to happen 10 seconds before that guy hit the fucking thing.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know it got recorded.
I actually have it on my playlist. Like, I have a lot of stuff that I've you know I commented too on your YouTube channel. So yes, I am quite a fan of that song, and so
Snakes
when I
is
made that
fun.
when I made the announcement, that was the song.
That's thank you for all the that's sharing and everything. The that song's fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's true. It's true. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Anybody can relate to it.
I hope so. If I'll put it this way, if people can't relate to that song, I certainly hope they encounter an experience or a person in their life that they can relate to that song, because there's nothing bad in that song. It's all
Yeah.
fun. It's tongue in cheek,
Yeah,
true,
yeah. It's
but
true.
it's it from a performing standpoint, like that's one where reading the room is critical. Because if I'm, I try to find whenever in a close by that I could see them,
Right, right.
I try to find a couple, and I try to find a couple that is clearly romantically involved, and they're having a good time, and I sing that song to them, and then I'm
Uh-huh.
careful when I say that "Sweet Jesus, Get a Look at You" song. It's like, sometimes I'll point it directly at someone if they're in on the joke.
uh,
I'm not trying to move in on some guy's girlfriend or wife. I'm just
sweet
trying to provide
Jesus.
sweet Jesus. And sweet Jesus.
I love the way you say it. I don't
I
know
say that.
between the how you play the guitar and how you tell the story. It's just like, oh, it's like a,
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, for sure.
yeah. I
I'm
don't know.
glad
I'm
you
lost.
enjoy
I'm speechless. But I think you left them speechless too. So according to what we've heard. Oh my gosh.
it. With those two,
Yeah.
I know that they got their no money's worth that they paid to watch me play that guitar that night. Those two, and I had I had a great time. I mean, I do love performing live.
Yeah.
And this was a party at a buddy of mine's place. So, he asked me, Chris, can you bring the guitar? I said, okay, sure, sure. Well, I'll bring the guitar. And that's what I played that song for him. And it's not something I'll soon forget. And I would
Uh-huh.
imagine it's not something those two girls, uh, will forget, because I was like, I said, I remember afterwards, like 2 or 3 days after, I said, JC, uh give me one of their numbers. I want to call them and say thank you. It's not
Uh-huh.
it's opened up a couple of, it's moved a couple of needles. That's when a big video hits like that, there are people that come out of the woodwork, and some
Yeah.
things came out of it. And I called them up, and they, sure enough, they're best friends. And they picked up the phone, and he said he must have told them that I was going to call them. So she picks up the phone and goes, "Is this Chris?" And sure enough, it was a fucking repeat of the song, because I'm like, "It's Chris," and screaming ahead. If only I could be so enthusiastic about getting a phone call as these two were. I mean, these two are going to scream over having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Right.
But I wouldn't trade that for the world. I wouldn't
Yeah.
trade it for the
Yeah.
world. That level, the the older I get, it's got no, the nobody's got. The older I get, this much I know. Nobody's got any fucking answers, but I know the answers are not in things. The
No.
answers, if they exist at all, are in people, and that's what this,
Yeah.
you know, songwriting is a very isolating thing. I
Mm.
do write with some other people.
Yeah.
Um, I will. It's fucking nuts to be saying this, but I will be writing. I will be recording and releasing a song with a Grammy-winning artist quite soon in September. I'll be doing that.
Wow.
But I'll keep that one under my hat for now. Uh, we wrote it
Okay.
together. It's good. It's the recording date is set, so we're gonna go do it and release it. But there are some contractual things that have to get worked out for that one first. But it's gonna happen. But it's not about it's not about stuff. I know that. It's certainly not about stuff.
Yeah.
It's about the people. For me, it's not. I mean, I can only speak in that. For me, it's about the people and the dogs in my life.
Uh-huh.
That's. I keep it simple, and I try to enjoy it to the best of my ability. I do. I
Mhm.
try. I fucked up an awful lot in this life, and I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm cognizant of that. And
Mhm.
I would be. I'm no chest thumping. Get clean. Don't do. If somebody can handle it, do all the crazy shit you want to do in your life. But I would be remiss if somebody's watching this and they do have a substance issue, whatever that may be, or addiction issue, food, sex, whatever. If you think you got a problem, you probably do. It's time to maybe start the conversation.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things, I don't shy away from that. I don't shy away from that part of my past. I don't do that at all. And I don't shout it. I certainly don't perform and talk about it.
Mhm.
That has nothing. That's not. I'm not looking to do that at all. But I don't shy away from it. People do know it's a thing in my life, and if it's this something that that I'm very quietly proud of, is that, you know,
Mhm.
on more than many occasions, I've had, that conversation with people, a lot of people in music, and in some instances the people have taken it upon themselves to try to get some help. In most they
Yeah.
haven't. You can only do it when you're ready. But, you know,
Mhm.
I'm certainly not playing music to help people get sober, but son of a bitch, if it helps, that's
Yeah.
fine by me,
Yeah.
if it helps.
So, so true. Well, with that being said, we're going to move on to some fun quick fire round for you.
All right, fire away.
Favorite New Orleans food after a gig?
Port Call restaurant, best hamburger in the world. Oh, after a gig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like I said, I'm not 21 years old. A protein smoothie when I get home and then I go to sleep. It's really not that glamorous.
Okay. What kind? Blueberries with spinach, or like what kind
I
of
like the
spinach?
blueberries. I like the
Okay.
avocado.
Okay. Okay. That's what's up. So, three artists on your playlist right now.
Contemporary or older?
Whatever you want.
Uh, on my playlist definitely would be Joe Pass Virtuoso.
Okay.
Uh, right now, Love Supreme by Coltrane,
Oh
and
yeah. Okay.
my very, 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 very good friend and uh, drummer in the road, in the for the Raw Deals and on the road, Travis Mark. His
Uh-huh.
Deep Sleep Atlantic, he's putting out a new record.
Ooh.
He's a rock and roll player. He's fucking killer at that shit. It's
Wow.
really good. It's really good. Deep Sleep Atlantic, check it out. Those are the
Okay.
three.
Guitar solo you wish you wrote.
I can't stand guitar solos.
Okay.
I honestly, it's if they don't serve the song, like I like listening to a guy play the guitar for, just noodle around for two
Right.
minutes. I wouldn't do it. That
Oh,
being said, anything by Joe Pass, which
okay.
is which is all solo arrangements of, jazz standards generally.
Right,
And
right.
yes, he's playing solos in the middle of those things, but it's when you say guitar solo. Uh, Certainly you didn't say this, but when you say guitar solo, I think of the guy standing on stage with his legs spread and the guitar at his knees, and you know playing rock and roll guitar, and basically just looking to get patted on the back for being able to play the guitar. I don't. That's not what I do. That's not what I do.
Okay. Um, Backyard Blues Jams or Stadium Tour?
Stadium tour. It's much more controlled. Much more
Oh,
controlled. Much
okay.
in the when a blues jam can either be a very good thing or a
Uh-huh.
absolute fucking train wreck if the guys don't know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah,
there's
that's
more
true.
there's more than like there's been more than one occasion
Uh-huh.
where I've been in a spot where that that goes on more many occasions where I'll be in a place where people break out, not even like a club or whatever, like break out guitars or drums.
Uh-huh.
And do you want to play? Do you want to play? My answer is always, let me just sit and relax and have this soda first. Because my job is not to teach anybody how to play music at a party or in a
Oh,
club.
yeah.
That is, and my job is not, I have occasion, and I am very thankful
Mhm.
to be to have the relationships with the drummers and the players of the
Mhm.
caliber that I do have, and I'm not carrying anybody through kindergarten class. If they can't play, or if they're asking me to teach them how to do something on the fly, that doesn't happen.
Mm, okay.
I'm nice.
Yeah.
I'm not that nice.
Well, that's good to know. um, blues hero you jam with, living or gone?
Oh, easy, Sun House. Easy.
Okay.
Easy answer. The early guitar that I learned was the reason why I put going back to Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
When you're a new guitar player, the Robert Johnson stuff's mystifying.
Hmm.
Can't figure out how he's doing it. Sun House, on the other hand, if someone's a beginning guitar player, if you have a half of a musical ear, you can kind of figure out what he's doing physically.
Yeah.
And I would love to be in the room uh, to see him. I wouldn't play with him. I would just want to see it in action, because the things that I've read, and there's a direct link to Sun House in New Orleans, John Mooney, who's also a hell of a guitar player, and I remember him a number of occasions hearing him and
Hmm.
listening to him, or reading an interview where he said uh, he lived with Sun House for a while in New York, in upstate New York, and he said when Son's wife was not in the house because he could not play blues in the house.
Hmm.
But when she left, he didn't give a shit. And he said that, Son House was a slight man, not very tall, 140 pounds,
Hmm.
uh, alcoholic, not feeble, a man. But when he played, it shook the house, it shook the windows. And I can believe that because I've seen the videos, and I know the recordings. It's a transcendent, powerful player and
Uh-huh.
singer for sure. Son House,
Okay.
absolutely.
Your first guitar you've ever owned?
The first one
Yeah.
uh, was a half-sized kitty nylon string acoustic guitar that my older brother owned and
Hmm.
didn't play, and was probably if a guitar neck is supposed to be straight, this one was probably like that was the first one. That was the first one.
Um, go to slide, glass, metal, or ceramic?
Super easy. Uh, it's brass, but metal. Because
Brass.
I
Okay,
remember
metal.
when I was much, much younger, I was playing a gig. I remember it distinctly. It was in New
Mm.
Brunswick, New Jersey. I thought, I was quite young, and I had a glass slide because I was experimenting, doing all
Uh-huh.
different things. Glass slide, I sat down on a like a wall.
Yeah.
I felt it pop. I was like, son of a bitch. I ended up in the bathroom picking a piece of glass out of my ass. And that was the last time I ever played as a glass slide.
Oh, wow.
A lot
Yeah.
of people, a lot of people put, guitar players put some guitar players, they put an awful lot of weight in gear, stuff that they play.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, find what works. And it just made sense to me as a young player. I was like, uh, that wasn't the last. It broke, and I literally was in the bathroom, fucking pulling my pants down and pulling a piece of glass out of my ass. So that was the last
Wow.
one of those. And then the ceramic, I tried the ceramic ones. I like the ceramic ones, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
play one because the same thing. If I drop it, it breaks. I
Oh,
had
wow.
these. I had these brass slides. There was they fit my finger. Jim Dunlop slides. There's a 222 in the middle of. There's a sticker.
Oh.
5 or 6 years ago, there was a music store going out of business,
Uh-huh.
and I forget. Like I guess retail. It's a fucking ridiculous amount of money that people charge for a piece of brass.
Wow.
Like it's probably like $12 or $13. Some music store was going out of business, and they had them on sale for I think it was $4,
Oh,
and
wow.
I kept upping the number. Like I was like, all right, I think I'm going to buy enough slides here that I'm never going to buy another one because they don't break. You have to lose them,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes I'll give them away. But yeah,
Oh.
glass. Be careful. Be careful. It got me.
Yeah, I see. Um, One word to describe your live show. Sweet Jesus. I was gonna say sweet Jesus.
Uh, Sweet Jesus. Uh, Musically, I will. I will. I take a lot of pride in this. I treat even the songwriter
Mm,
songs as jazz songs, and I
mm,
will vary.
mhm,
Half Block Cadillac, you're always going to know it's Half Block Cadillac, but I will play it for my own enjoyment
uh-huh,
very differently on a night to night basis. Very differently. It's gonna have the same generalized structure. It's definitely gonna have the same words. The words are
mhm.
not gonna change, but sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, sometimes it's more introspective, sometimes it's jazz, sometimes it's hard straight blues.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and it is nice. It's nice to go and play the gigs that I play, and the folks that come out and see them, they'll ask, they're like, what are you going to go more jazz tonight? Are you going to go more blues tonight? The answer most of the time is I don't know. Most of the
Okay.
time I don't know. And a lot of times when I'm playing with a drummer, um, the drummer doesn't know, and the guys that I play with, simply because I say guys because I don't have a. There's just not that very. Now that I think about that, very very few female drummers. Period.
Huh. Interesting.
That I know of in New Orleans. Very few. There's a couple, but
Mhm.
but very few. So that the pool is much larger for the men. And the guys that I play with, they I love them. I love the relationships that I have with the players that I will get on stage with, because it's a strong drummer, confident in their own abilities.
Mhm.
Where I'll look at them, they'll look at me. I mean, they're my songs. I'm running the set list, and they'll say, a lot of times Travis he'll go, what are we doing next, Travis? Or he goes, I go, what are we doing next, Chris? And I'm like, I'll look at him and go, fucking go ahead, Travis. I'll figure something out on the fly. I can't. I don't know, because you do this
Right.
long enough, and if it's a blues song or if it's a song that I wrote and I know, I can meld it into something different, which is where I sit. Real jazz is done on the fly. It's on the fly. It's improvised on the spot. Um, and that's just predictably unpredictable. Let's say that. The live
Okay.
show.
Okay. Most underrated blues artist of all time.
Bob Dylan.
Okay. And what's louder, your amp or New Orleans during Mardi Gras?
New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
Okay.
Without question. New Orleans is definitely not my amplifier.
Right. Right.
Definitely not my amplifier. No, I'm not. I don't play with a large amount of volume. It's not. I play with enough volume for the room, but I'm no heavy metal rock and roll guitar player.
Okay. And how was your experience tonight with me in
Oh, and
another
that this was a true pleasure. Thank you for listening to the music, you know, having the questions uh that were pointed and targeted, and it was brilliant. You're very, very good at what you do. Thank you.
I really, really appreciate this, Chris. Seriously. And this is our first, and I'm sure that we'll come back and talk more
I'd love
about
to. I would love to.
your latest. And speaking about events, any upcoming events, collaborations? I know you mentioned uh, several
Yeah,
things.
I'm excited. If anybody's listening to this who knows New Orleans music, and no, anybody listening to it, check out a young woman named Kelly Love Jones,
Hmm.
um, who is a brilliant performer and singer in this city, and it would surprise the shit out of me if if things didn't go her way in a very big
Hmm.
way. And we wrote a song a couple weeks ago. Um, it's her birthday weekend, so she's not in town. We're gonna record it, and that'll come out. I'll let you know when it comes out. It'll
Okay.
come out. Sometimes the delay times on these things can be a little while, but it'll come out in a few months. Uh, Kelly Love Jones, check her out. She's a DJ on WWOZ, which is the big,
Ah,
radio
okay.
station. She's a DJ as well. She's very, very cool and very, very different artistically and stylistically than I am, and it works like a charm. I love her. She's fantastic.
I love it.
We wrote that song sitting on this couch
Wow.
a couple weeks ago. Yep, sitting on the couch.
Okay. Anything else you would like to tell the audience this evening?
First of all, thank you everybody for listening. Annette, you guys, and I do say guys because I know what Annette's demographic is. You guys are in good hands with her. Uh, Records coming out August 1st. Um, Chris Vincent, NewOrleans.com. Is the website that'll bring you to all the social media links and the record and the samples and the downloads and all the t-shirts and all the other stuff that goes on. Chris Vincent, NewOrleans.com, and that'll get you there.
Okay, and as you see across the screen as well, just in case you need that
Ah,
reference
ah, thank you,
for
Annette.
everyone out there. um, well, with that being said, be sure to subscribe, right? Like,
Yes.
comment. We accept any feedback. Chris Vincent here with InTHEknow360. We're streaming right now live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I will drop this on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Twitter X, TikTok. And I would like,
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of stuff going on
yeah,
there.
right. And let's continue to support the Unity for Social Justice, please. Free Monster Yo, Prentice Banks, and Jay Burton, and all our brothers and sisters that need our support. This has been a broadcast of showing love full circle between NNO 360 and Mr. Chris Vincent.
Annette, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Very, very much. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
I can't wait to see the new songs, and I'll be sure to share, and we'll go from there. But have a
Please,
wonderful and blessed evening.
please send me your address. I'll send you a record for sure.
Oh, thank you. I am honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
All right.
take care and
Take care of yourself.
salute.
Catch up soon.
All right.
Take it
See
easy.
you.